Hello. In today's Live Code Hangout, we developed this kind of portfolio and studio website using Claude and GitHub Copilot to help accelerate the development. Our Light Studio is our sort of startup consultancy and focus on game and web development. We want people to kind of get a quick understanding of our studio and services, workflow, and a portfolio of projects we've built, as well as our team members and ways to get in contact with us. Let's take a quick look at how we built this. We started by creating an Astro website, just a very simple process to get Astro up and running, one single command. We installed Daisy UI after looking at a few UI component libraries just to see what's out there. And that's a Tailwind-based UI component library. Very user-friendly and gives a very professional aesthetic. Once we had the basic development framework set up, we went ahead and started scaffolding the idea, the vision of the project. It takes a few steps to get from a general idea to the finished project. So in order to do this, I used Claude, and we started by stepping back and saying, what are we trying to achieve? I'm developing a single page website for an indie web and game development studio, and would like to outline the content section, typically find an agency or portfolio website landing. Claude gave me a very thorough response of the kind of structure, hero, section, studio overview, about, services, expertise, portfolio. I used its response to kind of fill in some of the details. So I gave it just a few notes about our project, studio, what we're focused on, who we are, just enough to give it some specific context. And it responded with a more detailed landing page structure based on our content. So it's kind of infusing that into the previous structure, what our call to action is, what our services are, etc. So now we're getting more specific and detailed. Once we have this tailored structure, I can give it a request to create a brand guideline. So essentially when you create a web project, you want to have some idea of the tone of voice and the aesthetics so that you can follow those and have a better outcome and consistency throughout the project. So it helped us create brand personality, visual identity, typography. Then it was time to get kind of specific. So the initial Astro layout was very simple. I just gave it structure there. And I mentioned that we're using Daisy UI, Tailwind component library. And it thought about it. So this whole time I've been using the Claude extended reasoning model. So it's always been thinking about these section by section, how to build the content, how to add the markup and accessibility guidelines like semantic HTML and ARIA attribute, for example. And it generated essentially our landing page as an artifact that we can just copy and paste, and improvements to our layout component, including mobile navigation, Open Graph and Facebook, markup and Twitter, so that we have this SEO optimization and everything. It's just in our brand color variables. It's so remarkable how quickly it turned out, this whole layout and index page. We even have a custom 404 page for when we decided to deploy this. And I'm using explanatory mode, so it's kind of describing what each of those characteristics are and what are their uses. So at that point, it was time to switch over to using VS Code Insiders Edition and making just some small improvements to the site. But essentially, this Insiders Edition currently has an Copilot edits mode that allows you to select an agent, which allows Copilot to sort of get rich insights into your IDE, interact with the command line. It's essentially putting me in the Copilot position, so code is being written and modified by the agent, and I'm kind of peer reviewing and guiding the development process. Very interesting way of working. And the main changes we needed to add was relating to a small improvement for the mobile menu. If you click outside of the menu, it should dismiss it. Overall, this is really powerful. The whole process from start to finish took about 1 hour. Okay, well, that's been a recap of today's Live Code Hangout. I hope you're doing well.